I know you'll see somehow the world will change for me and be so wonderful. Ding, ding, ding. Breathe life. I couldn't do it anymore. What's up, guys? I don't know if this is going to be the intro or not. Probably not. But if you're hearing it, then it is the intro. This is episode
14.
Really? Because 2 minutes ago, you're betting me $5,000 that it was 15. So are you sure it's 14?
Maybe.
So you want to place a bet right here in front of the whole audience?
We don't have an audience, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're right. Nobody listens to us. So how was your week?
Bro, it was all right.
Yeah.
I seen a helicopter today.
You seen a helicopter?
It was pretty close to the ground. I ain't even gonna lie.
So you've never seen a helicopter your
Not
entire
that
life?
close in my life.
Not that close.
It was close. It was one of the military ones.
Oh, so it was one of the big ones?
It was probably like 100 feet in the air, 200 feet.
I went to
It was close.
I went to the reserve base and I saw one. I went inside and they were working on it.
What are they called? The black? No, the ones with two propellers. I forget what they're called.
Yeah, I
Like cargo
went
plane.
inside and
Cargo
I
one.
touched it. I touched the blade when no one was looking at me.
Bro, that thing was close to the ground. It was like 200 feet off the ground.
Really?
No cap.
I feel like you are capping.
Hey, you like my new cowboy hat?
Yeah, tell everybody about it. Tell
It
everybody
looks
about it.
really good with the mullet. If you don't know me, I have a mullet, and
Yeah, I don't know why.
I look pretty good with the mullet. I ain't going cap. But I bought this new cowboy hat, and it looks really good on me.
So are we going with the R. Kelly intro? Because we're kind of already like a minute and 30 seconds into this.
With the R. Kelly?
No, the iCarly. The intro.
It's already too late. Look.
Yeah, because we're like a minute and 47 seconds in, and I don't really feel like redoing it.
In my life that I never get back either.
Yeah, so I guess y'all just gonna have to listen to us sing. So what else did you do? How else has your week been? How many hats have you
Dude,
bought?
5 days a week. All right, Monday through Friday, I work. That's all I do.
Yeah,
You should know this.
me too. So your life sucks is that what you're saying?
Nah, I love my life. My job's fun. There's a lot of people at my job that like bada bing, bada boom. Dude, the supervisor.
What did you say?
Anyway, there's people at my job.
Your
that
supervisor said what?
listen. Supervisor quit this
Oh,
week.
he quit.
Yeah,
Why'd he quit?
He just left.
He just walked
Went
out.
around fist bumping everybody. He was like, all right, see you later. I quit
What
this
do you think he did? He just won the Super Bowl or what?
I think he had a better opportunity somewhere.
So he fist bumped on everybody on his way out,
Mhm.
and then did
He
what?
was just like, I'm out and quit.
What time was it when he quit?
Like the beginning of the shift. It was like 25, 30 minutes into the shift.
Before the shift ended?
No, when the shift started.
You said into.
Yeah. It was funny.
Wow.
Good guy. He's one of the best supervisors on the dock.
Then why'd he quit?
I think he has a better opportunity somewhere.
That's true. That's good.
Happy for him.
How many hats have you bought so far? How many cowboy
I
hats?
got 3.
You own 3 now.
Yeah.
So are you getting in touch with your countryside?
Yeah. Look, man. I got a lot, including my sun hats. Like
Yeah.
6.
So what would you say would be your first country single on your album? Let's do a practice interview right here. Hello.
Practice interview.
Yeah, hello Colton Cannon. So tell us, when did you decide to first become a country singer?
Probably when I woke up one day.
Today?
Nah.
Oh.
I woke up one day.
Oh, woke up one day. How old were you?
I was like 15.
Oh wow, like for real?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So I listened to this song, right?
What was it called?
I'm not joking. Like, I listened to a song
Mhm.
called
Mhm.
You Look So Good in Love by George Strait. And that's my favorite song ever.
All right.
It's my favorite song ever, right?
Okay.
And then I sang it. And I was like, dang, I got a good voice. And I was like, dang, let me go ahead and start making music. So, country album coming soon.
So how old are you? 22, right? 23?
I'll be 23 in 2 weeks.
So,
if
8
you're feeling
years in the
generous,
making.
my cash app it. I'm just playing.
8 years in the making this album. How many songs do you have written
8
already?
years.
Yeah, because you decided
I
at
just
15.
started writing like last year.
Okay, 1 year in the making.
It's gonna take me a minute. I'll probably drop a single in December.
Bro, I can help you record it.
Why are we talking about that?
I don't know. I feel like people, you don't think people care about us?
A lot of people have been asking about my country music.
Who? Don't lie.
People at my job.
Oh,
Bella,
okay.
Eric, Typo, 2 different people. But
Eric and Typo are 2 different people?
Yeah.
Like what, Jekyll and Hyde?
Yeah.
So when is he Typo?
when he's hanging out with us,
When is he Eric?
when he's hanging out with his kid,
So who am I when I'm hanging out with my kid?
you're Raymond,
And who am I when I'm hanging out with y'all?
Ray. I'm pretty sure I'll be Colt when I'm hanging out with y'all. When I have my kid, I'll be straight Colton.
Mr. Cannon. All right, so
Pretty funny.
this is what episode 14. Yeah. So the topic today is, what do y'all look for in a church? So Colton, answer this. What do you look for in a church when you?
A building. I'm just playing. That's messed up. I'm sorry.
And that's it. That's all there is. We'll see y'all later.
It's like, I look for what type of connections you can get into, whether that's how to serve. There's different ways to serve in the church. There's probably unlimited things to do in the church to serve. Am I right? There's probably unlimited things.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Especially big churches.
Yeah. You can be a leader. You can be in the kids ministry leader. You can be the youth leader. You can be a leader in the young adults. You can be a prayer leader. You can be, worship band. You can be in the media booth. You can be on the cameras. You can be on the what else? Connect groups or just stuff like that. I think when churches that promote that and want more people to be connected and to go out and evangelize and go out and just doing outreaches, like when churches throw like what are those things, like block parties or like picnics, those are really good for the community because you can bring people in, because no one's gonna say no to free food. I'm not gonna say no to free food. Like, are you? Like,
nah.
Sorry, I think, that's what brought me to my youth group when I was in my youth group for about like
what, free food?
No, it was the car bash.
Oh yeah,
a car.
Yeah.
It was wild. I wanted to break a window, but I was way back in the line, and by the time I got there, all the windows were destroyed.
Yeah. They always get whoever's first in line always gets it first.
Yeah.
So you would say that you look for a connection, like to be plugged in.
Yeah, I get plugged in. That's a big thing. Just because Sundays isn't the only time. I feel like your walk is Monday through Sunday, or Sunday through Sunday.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, every day.
And there's no days off.
No days off.
You have no days off. Because the devil's not going to take a day off to try to pull you away.
That's right.
So why should you
say it again in the back?
So why should you take a day off?
Yep, that's right. I guess for me, what I look for in my church, well, I mean, I'm already at my home church, so I guess what I really like about it is that it's very personal. It's very personal. Like if you don't show up, they're gonna notice. Especially if I don't show up, because then there's not gonna be any worship. Well, they'll figure it out, but you know what I mean. And they'll
just cancel church when you're not there.
Nah, it would have to go on.
That's what it made it seem. Like, Pastor Trini, if you're listening to this.
Oh my gosh, that's not even what I meant. But
before you say that, first time I talked to Pastor Trini,
was
an outstanding person.
Yeah, he's dope.
And he told me he was going to give me a hoodie, and never did.
I don't think we have any.
The unashamed ones, the unashamed ones.
Oh, I don't know if we even have those anymore. Those are old. Those are like 4 years old.
We were at Hell House.
That was like
I was like, Pastor Trini, man, I like that.
Oh, that wasn't even 4 years ago. That was like
2-3 years ago.
No, it wasn't. We haven't gone to Hell House since I was 19.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was 5 years ago.
But anyway, still haven't got my hoodie. So.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just playing. It's not about the hoodie.
Yeah, I guess the being personal. I'd like that everybody's involved. It's pretty cool. It's like that everybody's involved in it. Everybody kind of gets hands on there, like that, and it really feels like you're a part of a team and that you're building something. And that's what I like about my church, is that we're very upfront, we're very real, we're very personal, we're very authentic. I think authenticity in a church is what matters a lot to people, because like when people who aren't saved, I'm saying, like the whole church thing is kind of weird to them. Like, oh, good morning, brother. Hello, sister. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of weird for them.
Yeah.
And I think being authentic people is what brings people to come to your church, to bring people to the Lord. It's just being real, because I think that's what people real recognize real, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just not a saying. That's facts, because people will know whether you're being for real when you're talking to them in church or when you're being fake. People just know. You know what I'm saying?
It's also about recognition.
Yeah. So would you say like mega church or a small church? Which one do you prefer most? Or it doesn't matter to you?
I've never actually been. I've been to one mega church, and it was the one in Mansfield.
What was it?
What's that one big one in Mansfield?
I don't know. No idea.
Crossroads or something like that.
I don't know. I know that You said Crosswinds, isn't that school?
Crossroads.
I heard of Crossroads.
It's like the big one in Mansfield. So I went there one time, and I was just like, man, this too. You got to take a bus to the youth center.
You got to take a bus
to the youth center, and then you take one back to the main sanctuary. Like it was.
They have to ride a bus to get to their
bus. Yeah, it was wild.
That's crazy. That's a lot of land.
And I was just like, dude. And they have a whole. If you go look at, I'm not ripping them up or anything. It's just it's really big, and there's no way. I met like 2 people there, and I went there for like three Sundays. And I was like, this ain't for me. And then I found Hill City, and I made that my home church. Been going there for 2 months.
That's good. That's good.
Missed last Sunday, but I'll be back tomorrow.
That's good.
It is Saturday though. So
yeah. I don't know. I don't really have a problem with mega churches at all. But I really do prefer smaller churches just because, like I said, I like the personality of it, and I feel like it's really hard to do that as a mega church. You know what I'm saying? Because there's just so many people.
It's hard to get connected in a mega church.
Yeah, and
it's not that it's hard. It's just there's so many people, and I'm not saying it's impossible.
Yeah,
but there were so many people.
Yeah, and I feel like that's probably. Well, I don't know if that's
like how many ministers do you think are in a mega church?
A lot, maybe like I don't even know. I know their team has to be big though.
Yeah,
but that's what I mean by like I don't know how they would. I don't know if all mega churches struggle with that, like not being able to be personal with everybody. I have no idea because I never went to one, but I feel like that would be a struggle that I wouldn't, because I wouldn't know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like if I owned a mega church or whatever, I wouldn't know what to enact and what kind of program to do so everybody kind of feels involved. Because that I mean, I guess that would be kind of hard, you know what I'm saying? Because there's just so many people. And I remember I was talking to this one person, and they were saying that their church started off small, but then it like blew up. And then the pastor, like no one ever got to see him ever. He had like security and everything.
Yeah.
And no one ever got to speak to him. It was crazy.
I think that's a problem when your pastor can't connect. So I remember I heard a pastor. It was one of my old pastors. He was talking about he never wants to be the preacher of a mega church.
Yeah.
Because then he wouldn't have the personal connection. So we'll have picnics at the church. My last home church, the one I grew up in and stuff. And the reason why I moved on, I felt like I needed, God had a bigger plan for me at another place. And I had been going there since I was in 7th grade.
You're talking about Abundant Life?
Abundant Life. And, it's a really great church, good people. Pastor Everett is probably one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. It's got great support cast and great ministry.
This man said supporting cast. You mean support
support cast? Like their staff is.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying now.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything that's done there is very well done.
I was like, they shoot the movie or what?
But there's always a personal connection no matter what. And whether it's the worship leader, whether it's the media leader, or whether it's, the pastor or the youth pastor, just something like that. But he was talking about he never wants to have a mega church because he doesn't want to lose connection, a personal connection with the people he preaches to, the people that,
so
that
what
God tells him to speak to.
Yeah, what would you consider a mega church? Like how big would you think it would have to be?
Over 1,000.
Over 1,000. And what would be a big church? Like
big church?
Yeah, like under 1,000? In between like what numbers?
Probably so a small church is anywhere probably from 0 to about 120, 130, or maybe 0 to 200. And then 3 to 7 is like a big church.
Yeah.
And then 7 to up is a mega church.
Yeah.
Because that's a big number.
700 people.
So we had to lock in for our youth group, and we had 500 youth kids, high school and middle school, 500.
Gosh.
And there were I think there were only 18 youth leaders.
That couldn't be me.
Just imagine.
Well,
them youth leaders were losing.
I remember one time when we used to do VBS at the old church. Remember?
Oh yeah.
We had 800 kids.
That was wild.
And
I was only had the 2 buses, and we go around picking everybody up.
And we only had 15 leaders.
That was wild.
And they were all youth. I was
like 9th grade.
Yeah, I was a sophomore or junior.
Sophomore. You were a junior because you're 2 grades ahead of me, right? You and my brother were 2 grades.
Yeah.
So,
because I used to do it all the time. I did it all the time.
I went twice.
You went twice?
Both. Yeah, they were both with Wrath.
Yeah, that's when I was.
When I was a little crazy back then. The pastor at that church, Abundant Life, Pastor Everett, is probably one of the greatest one of the nicest people you ever meet, and he gives a good word, and he actually gives you really good advice, and during the picnics, he'll sit and talk. He'll go talk to anybody. He'll go talk to everybody at the picnics. He'll play, go play basketball or something, and he gets connected. He makes sure everyone's taken care of and stuff. And that's what I look for in a church as well. I look for that connectivity with the head pastor. Is the head pastor just seen on stage and you don't ever talk to him? You don't ever see him except you're on stage? Or do you see him doing work off the stage as well? Because I feel like that's a really big opportunity, especially when you're the head pastor of a church. Are you just doing work on the microphone, or are you doing work outside of that? You know what I mean? Are you doing work off the stage as well?
Yeah. Do you think that people look to their head pastor too much instead of looking to the Lord, or do you think that, you know what I'm trying to say?
Well, the head pastor is chosen by the Lord.
No, but I mean, do you think they go to the head pastor more than they go to God themselves? Because I mean,
it depends. I don't know.
Do you think some people do that? I feel like some people do that.
I couldn't answer that, to be honest. That's a hard question to answer, because a lot of people believe that. Well, don't believe. I mean, it's true that the head pastor isn't just, hey, you're a pastor now. You're the head pastor. They pray, and then it's
yeah.
Everybody in leadership is chosen by God. Am I wrong?
Well, no, that's what the Bible says.
Exactly. So I believe that the head pastor is someone you could look to a lot.
Like, do you think he could become an idol, basically? Not like intentionally, like saying like we worship him and everything like that. But I mean, like,
if you look at him as an idol, then that's where it becomes wrong.
No, but I mean like an idol as in like, because we can make things idols without knowing we're making things idols.
You could say, I would say I looked at my youth pastor as a mentor. And I mean, we talked about this. I didn't have that father figure growing up. He was one of the main sparks that brought me to being a man of God right now.
Yeah.
His motivation to reach out to the youth.
Yeah.
I mean, his whole motto is hype, helping young people excel.
Yeah.
I mean, and it wasn't a youth ministry. It was a student ministry. The students led it.
Yeah.
There was no, we had students in the worship team, students in the media team, students in the prayer team, whatever, stuff like that. And it was big to shape us into what we are now. Because if you look at a lot of other churches, you get those one kids that sit in the back and never talk. No, Pastor James would make everybody that he wouldn't leave a seat in between anybody. So remember, you know how the sanctuary was, and everyone would sit in the middle. He would make sure everyone was up in the rows. There was no empty seat. Everyone kept going up until there was no more room, and then you go fall into the next row. Like, that's how he was, because he wanted everyone to not only be entitled to hype, but entitled to being connected.
Yeah, like to be included.
To be included as well. Because if you sit in the back and you're not sitting by anybody, how do you plan on, knowing anybody? During worship, if you're just sitting down in the back, everybody was up front on the stage at the altar, And I know that was a big part shaping me, shaping me into what I am now. Just being more motivated, because I get that motivation from him, because he showed everybody. And it's not just me, it's all the guys, all the girls in that youth group at that time when he was there, that they were all motivated to not only grow, but to reach out, to bring, plant that seed, whether it was, bring him to church one time just to see how it's like. And I still remember the first time I walked into that church. Pastor James was standing right there, and he literally looked at me, "Hey man, welcome to Hype." Gave me a big old hug, almost broke my back. And then he said, "Hey, we love you.
Big dude.
We love you. I'm glad you're here. Hey, Snack Shack."
He's like what? He's like what? 6'6", 6'5"?
Heck no, bro. He's like 6'4", probably.
Oh, he looks big to me.
He's big, but he snack. The snack corner. Hey, you can go get whatever you want. It's on me.
Yeah.
He would make sure you take care of, make sure, you were showed love. He'd go out there and play basketball against everybody. It would be like everybody gets against him, and he would still beat him. He'd go out there and play volleyball. He'd go out there and play football catch. He'd be out there. Like, how most pastors, they're in the back, getting I'm not trying to rip up pastors, but like some pastors are just in the back, getting their sermon ready. Nah, Pastor James was out by the front door where we had the music going. And,
well, I think that's important to engage, especially as a youth pastor.
As a youth pastor, yes.
Yeah, I feel like you have.
You're seeing that off the stage, and that's what I look for, especially when I have kids. I know when I have kids and they get to that age of being into the youth, I want them to have the connection I had.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I didn't have that connection, I don't know where I would be. I don't know where anybody in my graduating class or people under me and people who are under, who he pastored to.
Yeah.
Where we would be.
So what would you say you look for in a pastor since we're getting into that? Like a head pastor, what would you be looking for? Like what attributes, what kind of character, what kind of
big
personality?
one is leadership. Someone who can lead and someone who can not. I mean, so when you get into that, it's like you're looking. A pastor is someone who leads the church, right?
Yeah.
The church isn't the building; it's the body.
Mm-hmm. And
someone in that place of leadership needs to know that everybody's looking up to him.
It's true. That's facts.
It trickles up. It's like the president of the United States. Everybody, all the governors, all the mayors, all the Senate, they're all looking to that one guy.
Yeah, because there's been
what's next?
Yeah,
we're following you. Whatever you say goes.
Yeah, that's why you hear multiple stories, like when the pastor kind of folds, like everybody,
and then it just like trickles down.
Yeah, it messes everybody up.
Same thing. Like I believe people leave churches. So here's the thing, and this is going to hit some people. Whether you have a job, whether you play sports, whether you're in a church, people don't quit jobs. People don't quit teams. People don't quit churches. People quit bad leadership.
Yeah, I remember I heard that. People don't quit bad jobs, they quit bad bosses.
Yeah. And that I believe that truly and full-heartedly, that no matter what, people are not going to be like, nah, this, this. I just don't like this. I just don't like, no. You don't like it because there was no leadership. The leadership wasn't, you weren't led the right way to where you were supposed to be led to. But also then again, there's some people who are hard-headed because you can lead a horse to water. And
that's what I was about to talk about.
You can't make him drink.
Yeah.
You can give a man a fish and he eats for one day.
Yeah, because
if you teach a man to fish, he eats, he eats forever.
Yeah, that's why I was about to talk about that, because a lot of people, I feel like they don't know how to follow authority. Mm-hmm. Like especially in America, in here. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because people don't want to follow authority. People want to do their own thing.
People want to be authority.
Yeah.
So do you believe, someone once told me, I was recently, when I was trying to do some things, they told me, you can't lead until you learn how to follow.
Yeah.
Do you believe that?
Oh, definitely.
I didn't know how to take that until I actually thought about it.
Yeah.
Like if you don't know how to follow, you're not going to be able to lead.
You can't be a leader.
Right?
No, I don't think so. At all.
So explain why. So I'm still kind of like why? Because I'm pretty sure there's people out there listening right now. Mm-hmm. The audience, if you're listening, you're probably wondering you might know what it means. You might not. But like, where do you pray? Like, what do you take from that? If someone says, you're not going to be able to lead unless you can follow first.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like when you follow somebody, that's when you learn people's attributes. I feel like that's where you learn certain ways, certain characteristics of people that you follow. You know what I mean? So let's take my pastor for example, right? I know that he hears from God, and I know that he's the man of God, and I know that he's the leader of what's going on. So I'm gonna place myself under his authority because because it's like kind of like a hierarchy. Obviously, I can go to God myself and everything like that, right? But at the end of the day, since he's the head pastor, I'm gonna place myself under his authority, and whatever he says, I'm gonna help him out and everything like that too.
Basically, like I'm gonna trust you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give.
Yeah.
Stuff like
that. Of course, there has to be some kind of level of trust there. Okay. But if you don't know how to, it's the same way that people say, if you don't make yourself teachable, you're never going to learn anything. It's the same thing. Yeah. So if you don't learn how to follow somebody, then you will never be able to learn how to lead. Because it's just, how do you expect other people to follow you when you've never followed anybody? You know what I mean? Like then there's no way you could even learn how to be a leader because you never followed anybody. You
Right.
just think that you know what it is to be a leader. You just think that you know what it takes, but it takes a lot. It takes a lot out of people. That's why there's conventions just for pastors.
Right.
That's why there's therapists just for pastors because it takes a lot. It does really take a lot, and I know that for my pastor, it really did take a lot. For their family, it took a lot,
and that made a lot of sense when my pastor told me, "Yeah, I have a mentor. You have a mentor."
Yeah, and then the mentors have mentors.
And then, and then it's just an ongoing ladder.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're listening, the people that are listening right now, your leader or your mentor has a mentor or a leader.
Mm-hmm.
So your boss has a boss,
mm-hmm.
and so on and so on. And it's kind of like this, like, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
He's probably, arguably, and I would say he's the best quarterback in the NFL right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's 23, he's only fourth year in the NFL. He's already got an MVP and a Super Bowl. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's been to 2 Super Bowls in 4 years. His first year in the league, he sat behind a quarterback, Alex Smith.
Yeah.
All year, didn't play. He played one game. Played the last game of the season, didn't matter. Do you think he is one of the best quarterbacks because he sat behind another good quarterback and he learned how to lead because he followed? You think that's why?
Yeah, I think that's 100%.
Yeah.
Because,
so do you think he's successful because of that? And someone like Dak Prescott was thrown into the fire. He didn't have anyone to sit behind, but he's still in that conversation. Mm-hmm. Same thing with. So you could do it like this. Like Tom Brady was drafted sixth round. He was like he was like the 170 something pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
5th round, like close to the end. There's 7 rounds in the NFL.
Yeah,
and he sat behind a good quarterback, Drew Bledsoe. In his prime, he was really good. Drew Bledsoe gets hurt. He comes in. He's got 7 rings now.
Yeah,
Drew Bledsoe got hurt ever since Tom Brady took.
Wait, doesn't he have 8 rings now?
No, he has 7.
But he had 8.
No, he has 7.
Oh no, he has 7.
He has more rings than any NFL team. Him by himself has more rings than any NFL team.
You're right.
In NFL history. He has the most rings single-handed. He's got 6 with New England. He's got 1 with Tampa.
You think he's gonna get another one?
He'll get another one before he retires. He's that good.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the topic. That first, he learned, and also he had a great leader too to look up to.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick is one of the greatest head coaches of all time. Probably is the greatest head coach of all time. I mean, if you just when you look into churches, you're going to look at leadership. Like, how long have you been going to this church? And if someone says, "Oh man, I've been going here since I was a kid," and they're in their 30s or 40s, that means something's good going on there, or they're just there.
Yeah.
I kept going back to Hype because it was good leadership.
Yeah.
It was good. There was someone who was in charge, who had the right mindset, who had the right demeanor to be like, all right, I know this age group to this age group. I know what they like. I know how to bring them in. I know what to do with them. Boom, lock in. All right, cool. I'll have a bunch of Red Bulls, Monsters. What do kids like? They like staying up late too. I'm going to do a lock in all night. We're going to have games, fun, basketball tournaments, volleyball tournaments. We're going to have open all night, bouncy houses, boxing, bouncy house things. Video games, Madden tournaments, stuff like that. He knew how to reach out to the kids. He knew how to reach out to those teenagers or middle school, high school, whatever, He knew how to reach out to them, bring them in to a place of fun, and still be like, hey, let's stop for a minute. We're going to do some worship. And it was crazy how he eased into it. Like, you would never thought, you'll go to this locking, and you're like, man, this ain't a church event. Got people performing, rap, got a DJ.
Yeah.
Everyone's having fun, and all of a sudden, band comes out, and they start playing worship music, and then everybody's out there going after God. And it's crazy, the atmosphere that changed.
Yeah.
And then it goes in from that to the altar call, to people giving their lives away to Christ, first time salvation or rededications.
Yeah.
And right back into
having fun again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I remember.
What brought them, I feel like what brought people back was, dang, Christianity can be fun.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't think
a lot of people think it's boring. It's just worshiping and praying and going to church. And,
well, even worshiping is fun. Like at least for me, I love it. Like I don't need no days off.
We went to the CFNI 50 for 50.
Yeah.
Bro,
Bro.
I've never experienced anything like that.
Yeah, that I needed that.
I needed that. That showing up to that really revived my spirit, and having that one-on-one time with God was much needed, and a lot of people don't get that.
Yeah.
And there's people dying right now because they won't deny Christ over there in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And that's like, that sucks to say. Like, well, it's hard to say because you have a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's stopping you from being like, no, I don't believe in God, so you can go back to your son? You know what I mean?
What's stopping me?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, you have a son at home. You don't want to.
I would do the same thing though. I wouldn't deny him. I would die for it.
But I mean, yeah. I understand all that.
Okay.
But there are people that think like that. Like,
oh yeah,
I don't believe in God. I got a family to get home to.
Yeah.
These people are laying their lives on the line and stuff like that. And it's crazy that we're looking into. And that goes back to being in the church, whether you're in the mission field, whether you're in any type of connectivity in the church. It always falls back on leadership.
Yeah.
Like, if a business fails, it's not because of the people that you hired.
Yeah, no, it's just
because of the leadership.
Yeah, I think that's another big important thing too. Is who's in the leadership. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that the head pastor obviously matters too, but the leadership too. You know what I mean? Like, even Jesus didn't do it by himself. I feel like we say this all the time. Like, Jesus didn't do it by himself either, right? He had the 12 and everything like that. And I think having a good leadership is also very vital and it's key to having a good church, because obviously the head pastor can't be everywhere, right? That's why you have other people who answer to the head pastor, so like associate pastors and like all that stuff, you know what I mean? And other leaders and everything like that. I think it's important to have good leaders like that too, because pastor can't be everywhere, you know what I mean? And yeah, pastor can't be everywhere. That's why a lot of people, they want to call it the pastor at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And then, but hey, y'all can talk to Jesus too, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like as a leader, as a pastor, I feel like you have to equip your people to be able to know that kind of stuff, that they can do it too. Like, hey, I'm just a dude. I'm just a guy. You know what I'm saying? I just happen to be the leader. God just happened to place me in this position. But at the end of the day, I'm just a man. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if a pastor doesn't explain that to the people, I feel like he's failing his congregation, because he needs to let people know, hey, y'all can pray the same things that I pray for. Y'all can see the same blessings that I see. The only thing that I do is I just do whatever the Bible says. I do what the Lord tells me to do. I read my word. I pray every day. I just go after God, and that's it. I mean, he's just a normal person. You know what I'm saying? Like, my pastor is just a normal guy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's what I love about it.
He just thinks like me and you. Pay bills.
I love that he is human like me. I love that he makes mistakes. I love that. Obviously not big mistakes, but you know what I mean? Like, he's human. I love that he makes mistakes. I love that he's real. I love that I don't know if this sounds bad, but I love that he wasn't always a Christian. And the reason why is because he knows how to relate with people. Like crazy. Like, he knows how to relate with people. And I feel like that's so important in the church, that we need to know what it's like to, maybe because, there's some people who never been outside of church and everything like that, which is fine. But I feel like they need to understand people who don't come from the same culture that we've been in, you know what I'm saying? Because that's so important to be able to connect with people. You need to understand them. You need to know what it's like to be like them. Or, I'm not saying if you've been Christian your whole life to go out and do what they're doing, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying go out and party it up and everything like that. But what I mean is, do some outreaches. You know what I mean? Like, if you've been in the church your whole life and you don't know what it's like for, people out there and everything like that, do some outreaches. Talk to some people. Go out there to downtown and see the homeless people, you know what I'm saying? And that'll open your eyes.
Yeah.
And I remember this one time, I think I was in middle school. They made us sleep like we were homeless. At church. Yeah, you weren't there. This is a long time ago, but they made us sleep on cardboard boxes. And it was cold. You know what they did? They turned the AC all the way down. I didn't even know this until later. And it was cold. And we slept in cardboard boxes. And it was hard. It was hard to sleep. But the thing is, we were inside. I can't imagine doing that outside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's things like that help you understand what people go through. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so easy I feel like, I don't want to come off wrong, but I feel like it's so easy for us to not really think about other people because we see only our lives. And, you know, especially like if we go to mega churches too. I'm not trying to bash on mega churches. I love mega churches. I think they do really good. They do a lot to reach out to a lot of people. They do a lot of missions and everything like that. They do a lot, right? But I feel like it's very easy just to show up and then leave.
Yeah. And here's a big thing. If you're listening and like, if you're thinking about something like that, about, you know, just homeless people, kids who don't have stuff, the holidays are coming up. There's toy drives, food drives for Thanksgiving. There's all types of drives coming up. It's not going to hurt you. Go purchase something, $5. Go buy a couple toys at Walmart for like $10.
Yeah.
I mean, you made a kid's day. You made a family's,
Yeah,
a family's day. Go buy go buy a turkey. Go buy a couple cans food. Go buy that,
anything.
Stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, and
anything.
And the thing is that people don't even realize that it's the small stuff that matters to them a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially little kids who don't have anything, because anything will be amazing to them, because a lot of them probably won't even get nothing for Christmas, which is it's very sad when you really sit there and think about it. Because I remember that somebody told me that one time, it was in a foreign country, but they went out there and they gave him a soccer ball, and it was like the world to that kid.
Yeah.
And you know what he did with it? He shared it with all the other kids, and they all were playing soccer together.
Yeah.
And it's just, bro, as simple as a soccer ball. It's just a soccer ball.
It's a leader in the making right there.
You know, yeah. And it's just a soccer ball. But to them, it's like, I don't have anything, so this is all I have. They don't even have shoes.
Mm-hmm.
They don't got no food. And it's sad that even here in America, where we claim to be the number one country and everything like that, we even have homeless people here. And that's why I think it's very important that we try to go out there. We try to see what it's like. You know what I mean? Especially if you're a Christian. I know there's this verse. It said that, you know, when I was hungry, you fed me. When I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. Whenever I was in prison, you came to visit me. When I was sick, you came and prayed for me. And then they're like, when did we do these things, Jesus? And he said, what you do unto the least of these, you do unto me. Basically saying what you do for them, you're basically doing it for me. So it's basically you're honoring Jesus by doing that kind of stuff. So what did he say? By feeding people that don't have any food, giving them water when they don't have water, visiting them in prison when no one came to visit them. You know what I'm saying? Like, do we even do these things? I think I went once. And it was actually during my birthday. I think I went on my birthday. It was my 22nd birthday, I think, or my 23rd. I went to the prison. It was crazy, bro. I would say, if y'all never been to the prisons, to go. It's crazy. I went to a prison ministry and it was wild. All the prisoners there, bro, singing. The whole band was prisoners. The whole worship team, basically, singers, everything. And even the people who ran the church were prisoners. It was crazy. It was awesome. It was probably the most awesome experience I've ever been a part of. And then the other one is like, when you're sick, you came to pray for me. Like, are we even in the hospitals praying for people? Like, I want to see a world, and this is on me too. You know what I'm saying? This isn't just, I'm not saying to everybody, and I'm not the only one. I mean, that I'm the only one doing it, but I want to be a part of it too. I want to see a world where we do that kind of stuff. And I know it's coming. It's going to come, bro. It's going to come, and it's going to be impactful. And I feel like it's going to start here in Grand Prairie. If I'm going to be real with you, I think that Grand Prairie is a hub for things that are going to happen. I think there's going to be a lot of things that are going to happen here. I think that it's going to start with us, and I think that we just need to be intentional about what we do, meaning that we need to be praying all the time. We need to be reading our word all the time. We need to be intentional about giving our time to the Lord and having discernment on what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, know how we're about to move, know what the Spirit is saying and all that stuff, be a part of it, be engaged. I feel like that's what we need to do. And I think we're going to see change in the world. And honestly, I think it's going to start here. You know what I mean? And that's why it's important. Like, just get out there. If you never experienced, you know, what it was like to be without Jesus because you've been inside church your whole life, I would say go be a part of something, because there's a lot of things you can be a part of. You know what I'm saying? You can do volunteer at a soup kitchen, volunteer to go, I don't know, go speak to the elderly, just things like that. You know what I'm saying? We have so many resources, and there's a need for volunteers pretty much everywhere you go, and they were never going to turn you away. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to turn you away and say, nah, you can't volunteer.
Yeah. And I wanted to get back into the leadership role. And if you look at Jesus' 12 disciples, people look at pastors and people look at leaders and be like, oh, these guys are too good. Yeah, good at two shoes and stuff. Mm-hmm. Everybody's got a background. Mm-hmm. Everyone's got a backstory. I mean, just your pastor alone's story is just, that's crazy.
And not even that, but we're still going through stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we're all human.
Yeah, we're still
look at Jesus' disciples.
Mm-hmm. All of them.
They weren't all, none of them were perfect.
None of them were religious people.
None of them.
They were all fishermen.
There was a fisherman.
There were tax collectors, which were the lowest of the low back then. Like, everybody hated tax collectors back then. The tax collectors, the woman they hung around, remember Mary Magdalene? I think that's how you say her last name. She was a prostitute.
Right.
And it's just...
everyone has a story. Everyone has that testimony that's like, I was doing this. I was living in this sin.
Yeah.
And now, by the grace of God, sending his only son to die for me, I'm free of that sin. I was once a slave to pornography. I was once a slave to thieving or lying, doing whatever, killing, just doing whatever. Mm-hmm. And just to let y'all know, no sin is greater than the other. And if you're struggling with, any type of family issues, with anybody's lying or stealing or stuff like that, don't hate the sinner, hate the sin. Yeah.
I think it's very easy for us to
I mean, it is. Get mad at easy people, to just, oh, he stole from me, get out of my face. I don't want to talk to you no more. It's easy to do something like that. It's easy to look at homeless people and go, yeah, you chose to be there. Nah. I mean, people's choices got them there because they weren't led the right way. They just need guidance.
Mm-hmm. You want to know something that rocked me? So I'm not gonna get into too much details and say names or anything like that. But there was this one time, I was with my not my youth, I keep calling him my youth. He used to be my youth pastor, but now he's a head pastor at our church. I was talking to a pastor, and it was me and him and Melody, and we were talking about some stuff, right? And it's just been some stuff that it doesn't bother me as much anymore, because I kind of had to move past it, and I kind of had to release it and everything like that. But at that time, it was bothering me a lot, and I was telling him about how sometimes in my head I have this thing about like justice, and I feel like, oh, but it's like we need justice and all that stuff, and I feel like I'm righteous in it. And I was telling him about this stuff, and then I was just mad, and he told me, yeah, but think about how much you've been forgiven for. And that rocked me, bro, because I was like, I would say there's things that I've done that I don't think I should be forgiven for. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that pretty much everybody, I think we all have a thing where we feel like we shouldn't be forgiven for. And when someone messes up, whether it's a small thing or whether it's a big thing, like how I was very upset about, I would say it's probably a very, very big thing, what I was upset about. But even then, like, who am I to say that that person doesn't deserve forgiveness? Because I believe that he can be forgiven, you know what I mean? I believe it that, you know what I mean? And I believe that the Lord does. And who am I to say, like, no, like, what about justice and all this stuff and this and that and everything like that, and it's right and everything like that? But at the end of the day, Paul used to kill Christians.
And just look
you know what I mean?
Just look at what Jesus told his Father when he was on the cross.
Yeah, forgive them for they don't know what they're doing. And then, I mean, like,
he literally forgave the soldiers who pinned him to the cross.
And then look at Jonah, he ran away. And look at Moses, he was a murderer before the Lord called him. All kinds of stuff. The prodigal son, the woman at the well, Mary. Whenever
forgave Judas.
Yeah. And
it's funny, he already knew.
He knew.
He already knew.
He even told him before he did it that he knew it was him. They were at the Last Supper when they were sitting at the table. Yeah. He was saying, one of y'all is going to betray me. And then Judas said, tell me, who's it gonna be or something. He said something like that, like, is it me or who's it gonna be or something like that. One of those, and he said, it's you. He already knew, like he knew.
Ratted him out.
Mm-hmm.
And just that is crazy. That God loved us so much that before all that, when Eve and Adam ate the apple, and when Cain killed Abel, and when what was the other one? Was it the Corinthians? They were like
And what story?
The Corinthians used to be what were they before?
I don't know. I just knew that they were the church.
And then, but before I think they were like they were in like what's it called? They were like in relationships with kids and stuff.
Oh, I don't know about all that.
I think that's. Don't quote me on that.
He said, "Don't quote me."
I believe that is right.
Disclaimer:
before they became the Corinthians, they were.
Oh, I don't know about that. I know about the like Corinth. Like that's where the Corinthians come from because they're Corinthians.
I might be wrong on that.
I don't know. But I mean, like going on what you said, like Cain and Abel, then all this stuff with Noah, all the people before then, Moses, Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, all that stuff.
And then you get to someone like Job. That's wild.
That man's a beast. I ain't gonna lie.
That's faith right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's saying God got it.
Yep.
You lost everything.
I strive to be like that. I remember I had a conversation with Melody.
It's hard.
And then I said, if I lost everything, I think I could do that. Just because at the end of the day, if I did lose everything, God is the last thing that I have. So how would I couldn't forsake him. I couldn't get rid of him because that's literally all that I have. You know what I mean? I can't. Because then if I do that, then I literally have nothing after that. So I couldn't turn my back on him. I just couldn't. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think I would blame him either. I would like to think I wouldn't, just because I know that the Lord doesn't do it. Like the Lord doesn't wish evil upon us. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The Bible says He wants us to have life and life more abundantly. So that means that He wants us to have things. You know what I mean? He doesn't want us to be in jail, whether it's physical or mental prison or spiritual prison. He doesn't want us to be broke. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm broke," and you're kind of just speaking death over yourself because the Lord doesn't want you to be broke. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think He wants us to be in pain. I don't think He wants us to be sick. I don't even think sickness in general is from the Lord. I think that we could pray about that kind of stuff. And if we really truly believe and have faith in Him, mm-hmm. like we say we do, I don't think that sickness should ever touch our body ever. And I'm crazy when it comes to praying, bro. I really am. I'll pray for the craziest things. And just because I know who my God is. I really do. Like I know that if I pray for things and if it's His will, it'll come to pass. Just because, why wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. Like why wouldn't it? If we believe that God could do everything right, and if we believe that He loves us like He says He does in the Bible, because the Bible says that He does, and that He wants us to have it also says every good thing comes from Him. So that means that every good thing, you know what I mean? These mics that we're using, this computer, my shoes, your hat, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every good thing comes from Him. So why wouldn't He answer our prayers? Unless it's not in His will, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we pray for things that God doesn't want for us. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Whether that's a relationship.
Some people pray for relationships. Friendships.
Whether that's a job.
A car.
A car.
Yeah. More money.
Do I need that TV?
Yeah.
Do I need that new 80-inch 4K?
Mm-hmm. Because some of us pray for more money, but we ain't even tithing.
Boom. I've been there.
Yeah. And
I am there.
You are there?
I'm not. I admit it. Like I struggle to tithe because I'm trying to save money.
Yeah.
And I don't think about it.
Yeah.
And then you forget. Like, I forget it says it in the Bible. Mm-hmm. Like it literally says it in the Bible.
That's 10%. That's the one thing
I think
that the Lord tells us to test Him on. The only thing in the Bible.
Yeah.
He says to test Him on that he will bless us. He's like, you give me the 10% and you'll be blessed. Like that He said that you have so much, but back then they all had farms and stuff like that. Yeah. You wouldn't be able to fill your farmhouses. Basically, you wouldn't have enough room for the things that I would give you. And I would say this thing too. I used to think like that too, right? I only very recently started tithing a lot. Last year, actually, 2020, I grew a lot.
Mhm.
And I think the whole year 2020 was the first time I ever tithed for a whole year, right? And I'm still doing it. And what I would say is that, do I struggle with money? Yeah, I do sometimes. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do. But I never forget to tithe to the Lord, because I know that, one, it's the one thing that comes with a promise, right? And two, that I know that the Lord got me, right? Because this is a song that says, well, it's not even the song. It's a Bible verse first. The Bible says that, that the birds don't starve, right? And that He dresses the flowers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how much more would He do for us? You know what I mean? Like, the Lord's not going to let you go hungry, right? He's not gonna make you have need of everything, of anything. You know what I mean? You'll never be in need. And what I would say is, for you, I would say just do it, bro. Just dive into it, because it's an opportunity for us to worship God in another way. Because I think, because tithing is another way of worshiping the Lord, and also too, it's another way of putting your trust in the Lord. You know what I mean? And I think it's not. I think it's an opportunity, and I also think it's a privilege to be able to be a part of furthering His kingdom, because that's really where the money goes. You know what I'm saying? Like, because a lot of people think, oh, the church is just taking your money or whatever, right? Like, and they're just doing this and that with your money. But really, it funds, the outreaches that we got to do. It funds the food that we buy to make for everybody and to give to other people. I mean, some of it does go to the pastors, because sometimes that's their full-time job. It goes to a lot of different things, and sometimes it comes back to you, in other ways. So I would say just trust the Lord in that. I'm talking to them, but I'm talking to you too.
Yeah.
I would say trust the Lord in that, and that's that. I would say this, like how I said a while ago. That's the one thing that the Lord says to test Him on. He said, because you know how the Bible says, "Don't test the Lord your God," right? That's the one thing He said to test Him on. The one thing, and that's the one commandment that also comes with the promise that says that He's going to give you more.
This is why I talk about Pastor James a lot.
Uh huh.
He was a really big part of my life.
Yeah.
And I really hope he's listening, because I want him to hear that. And he knows that.
Mm-hmm.
But I want him to hear it every time, because I don't see him a lot now. He does a lot. But, I hope he's listening, and I hope that he hears that every time. Every time the podcast, I think I bring him up at least 4 or 5 times every episode. Yeah. But during offering, he would come up and say, I don't care if you have a penny or $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would say, I believe one day someone's going to come in here and give us $1 million.
Yeah.
Which is, I want to be that person.
That's radical faith.
If I was a millionaire, I would give $1 million to straight up.
Yeah, but you know what the Bible says too? That if you want more, you have to be trustworthy with the little first.
So he would say, I don't care if you have nothing, give him your time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember there were times where, I had a job through high school. You did too.
Yeah.
I had money.
But I wasn't tithing through high school.
I wasn't tithing.
Yeah, me either.
So I'd go up there.
I didn't know the importance of it.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Mm-hmm.
Because we weren't paying bills. We didn't need money.
Yeah.
We wanted it. So we'd just go get a job, and our checks would be gone the next day. We get it.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I spent my whole first check.
We'd go buy dumb things, like stuff that wouldn't last.
Yeah.
I remember I mowed a lawn for $40, and that $40 was gone the next 10 minutes. I went to Sonic and bought it.
Yeah, no, like literally when I got paid my first check at Texas Roadhouse, I spent it the same day.
Yeah, I'm not, yeah. Because that's good money for a 15, 16-year-old.
Yeah. That was a lot of money to me.
It was like $250. My first check was like $250.
Mine was like $3 something.
Dude, I was like, dang.
And I spent the whole thing.
But $250 for a $50, bro, that's like $1 million to me right now, all right?
Yeah, me
that's
too.
Basically like no bills. I can go literally do whatever I want. Mm-hmm. I can go throw this money down the drain if I wanted to.
Yep.
Like, this is my money. That was the first time I was like, dang, this is my money.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy to think that when we were like that, we had money and we didn't tithe.
Yeah. So
now that
we need
it's
money.
crazy to hear. It's crazy to hear that from you, because you have a whole son and and a wife that that you're the sole provider of.
Yeah.
And you're still tight.
Yeah.
Now just think of the people that aren't. Now, I know I'm not, and I'm working on it, and it's hard because there's times where I'm like, dang, if I do this, and I'm not.
Yeah. How am I going to put in gas?
I'm not going to have
trust
gas.
me. Yeah.
I'm not going to do this.
I've been in the same position.
There's a story about that.
Mhm.
I have a friend named Tommy.
Yeah.
He was paying his car and stuff, and he didn't have that much money.
Yeah.
All he had enough money to pay for his car note, right?
Yeah.
But he had a feeling God was just like, give me all that and just trust me.
Yeah.
So he gave it all to God.
Wow.
He gave it all in tithe.
Yeah, that's scary.
Then he gets this is your car. This is how you get to from and work, you know?
Yeah. That's your credit score, though, too.
Credit score and everything.
Yeah.
He gets a call the next day from his dealership, and he says that they said, something happened. We're gonna take care of your car payment this month. Just
what?
So we're gonna skip.
That never happens.
You get to skip a month.
That never happens.
That hit me once. I was like, dang, bro. Maybe
like I've never heard that before.
And I made a joke. I remember he told us about that a couple weeks ago. I was like, dang, maybe if I give my church $1,600, maybe God will pay for my rent one week. but I mean, it's just like faith like that. You never know.
Yeah.
My apartment complex management can be like, hey, something happened this month. Don't worry about it. It's on us. Like,
yeah,
you never know.
That's how powerful
Even if
the Lord is.
What if, just imagine that. Like, you just put in, like, if all I had was enough for rent and God was like, hey, I need 10%.
Yeah.
But then I won't have enough for rent.
I would say it like this, bro. The God who made the whole earth, the universe, all the stars and everything like that, you don't think he can take care of your rent?
That's what I'm saying.
You don't think he can feed you? You don't think he'll put clothes on your back? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we don't think about these things. You know what I mean? And let me tell you another story, another crazy story like that. So I know that you knew that my pastor, he'd been in prison, right?
Yeah.
And he was supposed to get 15 years. I don't know if you knew that, right? You didn't know that? He was supposed to get 15 years.
15.
Yeah. And he was praying to the Lord and all that stuff. Yeah, he would still be in there.
That's a long time.
If he would have got charged for 15 years. Yeah, he was.
15 years.
Yeah, this church would not exist. I don't know where I would be. I don't know where all the other people would be. And so he was praying to the Lord, right? And, he was just praying, that obviously no one wants to go away for 15 years, right? And it was federal prison. So a lot of the time you have to serve pretty much all of it. You don't really get parole because he did something a long time ago. And then it finally caught up to him because he was a pastor already when he got arrested and went to prison. He was already a pastor. So, and he did something a long time ago in his life, and it caught up with him eventually.
How do you think that looked on the people?
Oh, I mean, yeah, a lot of people were upset about that, but that's a whole nother story, right? But anyways,
that's crazy.
He was praying, right? And the DA quit the same day that he was supposed to get charged. That he was supposed to receive his sentencing. He quit because he said he couldn't put him in jail. He said, I cannot put this man in jail, so here's my resignation. And he quit. You know how crazy that is? He quit just because he couldn't put him in jail. And so instead of getting 15 years, he got 15 months. And I think he served all of them. And then he got out.
That's wild.
So yeah, like God could literally do anything. And I don't think we give the Lord enough credit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's why I think, man, test him on it.
But going back to that, to the top, tithing is a big part of the church. And I feel like you need to have good leadership to teach you because like us, we didn't know how important it was to tithe until we're already up
adults,
here.
Yeah. And we have bills.
We should have known that. We should have been practicing. That's like, I can't start playing golf right now. Or I can't start playing basketball right now, trying to go professional. Because why? I didn't learn it when I was younger.
Yeah.
And there's no buildup. My body's, I had to train my body for years to get into a professional stance of anything.
Yeah.
Stop playing baseball, stop playing football. I stopped doing all that.
Yeah.
If I try to get back into it, it would take years for me to get ready. Why? Because I didn't practice it as much as I should have when I was younger. And you can bring that in to practice how you play. If you start doing it when you're younger, if I start doing it now, which I plan to, it's going to get easier when I'm older. Be like, all right, here's my 10% every Sunday.
Yeah,
boom, 10%.
And what's cool about the Lord though too is that you could dive in now, and He'll help you the rest of the way. That you could dive in anytime you want, and the Lord has so much grace for us. And He has so much compassion for us and so much faithfulness for us. He's so faithful to us that you could dive in right now and He'll take care of you the rest of the way. That's what I love about the Lord.
I mean, how old was I'm trying to think of the character in the Bible. He was like really old until he was like, all right.
So he had a kid?
No, until like he actually was like, all right, I'm gonna follow you.
I have no idea.
Might have been just a story that I heard. Like, that's what it was. There was a dude. I want to say it was Michael Todd who talked about it. That he met a man who gave his life to God for the first time when he was 74 or something like that.
Yeah.
And he did. And he became a head pastor and stuff, died at like 104 or something like that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he died like,
wow, that's crazy.
40 years, 30 years later. Like, it's never too late. And that's what people don't get.
It's never too late, bro. As long as you have air in your lungs and as long as you're alive and you're here, it's never too late.
Never too late.
It's never too late.
But anyway, that concludes today's episode.
Yeah.
I hope you learned something today and took something away from that and apply it to your everyday life. That's one of our big goals here is to just have that connection with y'all. And like I said, our email's always open.
Yes.
Our Instagram DMs, our TikTok DMs, just anything. Tag us in a photo, tag us in, merch is coming soon. Still working on it.
Yeah.
But if you have any questions, have any topics, have any prayer requests, anything, just reach out. If you just want to talk, because I know mental health is a big thing right now with anxiety and depression and stuff like that. And you need to talk to someone, I'll talk to you. I'm always on Instagram. I'm always on Facebook. I'm always on this, and there's people you can talk to. There's all types of things. So just reach out. I feel like reaching out is a big part of your walk with God.
Yes.
Reaching out, because you're not going to be able to do it by yourself.
Yeah. Iron sharpens iron, but the only way that iron can sharpen another piece of iron is that they connect. That's the only way.
Boom. Y'all got to stay connected. And if you haven't found a home church, find one. Get connected. Find out ways to get connected.
Find one that fits you.
Yeah.
Right.
Pray about it.
I wouldn't say like find one that fits what you want to hear, but I would say find one that you can get into leadership. Find one that maybe
you're good at an instrument. Maybe maybe you can sing. Maybe you can. And the one thing about the Inner Circle podcast is me and Raymond, we can be relatable. We've been through a lot. I know I have a big testimony. He has a big testimony. I know Raymond for 10 plus years. And it's crazy that we can be relatable. So if you're going through something, any type of addiction, any type of just struggle with a sin or struggling with just wanting to know more, reach out. We'll get you. If we can't help you, we can find someone that can help.
Yeah, we're gonna find someone.
Because I have a mentor. He has a mentor. We'll find. I'm plugged into a church. He's plugged into a church. We can find someone to help you. And if you're struggling to find someone to help you, just reach out. We can help you. But anyway, it's been fun.
It's been real and it's been fun.
I mess it up every time.
You messed it up, yeah.
It's been real
and it's been fun,
but it ain't been real fun. Trademarked by
Trademark
podcast.
Yeah, don't take it.
Shirt coming soon.
What'd you say?
Shirt coming soon.
Shirt coming soon. Don't take it.
$25 a piece.
All right.
With no sleeves. I'm just playing.
All right, peace.